Don't forget that the negative force is in the Creator's hands, just like the good force. Both the Creator and Pharaoh is like, it's like Janus, that mythological god. That on the one hand, two-faced, it's both good and bad and evil. So the Creator is playing that way. Like, where does Rabash write it? That it's like what parents do towards children. Sometimes, they have a mad face, angry face, sometimes a laughing face, in order to develop reactions, responses in the child to both this and that, and grow the child from matter like dough to start shaping it in different ways, so he knows how to behave this way, how to behave that way, how to absorb this impression, that impression, and that's what we need to do. We just don't want to. We're good being in a coma. So we have to understand that a person cannot discover the Creator unless he collects a certain quota of impressions, just like in our world. And accordingly, we measure, we weigh how prepared a person is for revelation, how capable he is. And it's the same in any profession. What do we learn from any profession, from any occupation? It's only these different forms, different impressions. So we don't need to get angry that the Creator awakens us this way. One time positively, then negatively, in a good way, in a bad way, throws us from side to side. On the contrary, let's collect in a very mindful way and collect all those impressions so that we have enough in order to discover Him, because the Creator cannot be revealed in a Kli that can't reveal it. The will to receive has to be comprised of 613 parts, and each part has a certain want and a certain flavor, a certain sound, and a certain something. Otherwise you can't feel it, because what we have here is a revelation of the Upper One that appears in wholeness, even if it's to a small degree. The difference between smaller and greater is only the impression, the discernment, not the number, because it's always 10, not 9 or 11, not more or less. But they have to be at the minimal extent, all those cells. Okay, understood? Any questions? No. Okay. You got something about that? Yeah.
Yes, Bala Sulam in the introduction to the book of Zohar, item 33. It is like a father who restricts himself to show to his precious little son a face of sorrow or a face of contentment, even though he doesn't have in him either the contentment or the sorrow at all. Rather, he does it only in order to activate his precious son and expand his understanding in order to play with him. Only later, when he grows up, he will grow smarter and realize that everything that his father did had no reality in it, but it was only in order to entertain with him. And even though all of these simulations and changes begin only in the impressions of the souls and they end in them, nevertheless, through the godly desire, it seems to them as though they seem in Him, in the Creator Himself. And the Creator does that in order to expand and increase the attainment of the souls to the holiest possible way, which is the purpose of the thought of creation, to delight His creations.
And these exercises will happen more and more with very great subtlety and a mixture of feeling and intellect. And why? I started today with, remember what I asked?
You asked about the good and bad and the feeling of bitterness.
Okay, we'll go back to that.